Good day, viewers. I welcome you to the Monday of Holy Week. My dear brothers and sisters, as we enter this most sacred of weeks in the life of the church and human history, when our Lord offered that once for all sacrifice that gained for all salvation, the liturgy directs our minds towards the mission of Christ, which will be fulfilled in Calvary. The first reading is from what is commonly known as the third Isaiah, and it is the third of the four songs of the suffering servant in the book. These four songs will feature prominently in our liturgy this week. This passage speaks of this servant who obeys even in suffering and bears the command of God's justice to the nation. The servant's mission is covenantal. Just as Abraham is entrusted with the mission of being the progenitor of God's chosen people, so is this servant entrusted with the task of bringing God's justice to the nation. The prophecy of this servant is thus fulfilled in Jesus when he declared in Luke chapter 4 verse 18 to 19, "He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives, sight to the blind, to set prisoners free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." According to the prophet Isaiah, this servant will faithfully bring true justice and will not waver even in the face of persecution, because he is God's elect, and in him God delights. The psalmist affirms this when he echoes, "The Lord is my light and help." 26 verse 1. The event of our gospel passage takes place in Bethany, where Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, whom Jesus had raised from the dead, served as hosts. As the Jews intensify efforts to eliminate Jesus, he finds a warm solace in this home, and he is welcomed hospitably by Mary, who anoints his feet with precious ointment and wipes it with her hair. It was Mary who sat at the foot of Jesus and listened while Martha busied herself with serving. Luke chapter 10 verse 38 to 42. You can see a progression from silently listening to active devotion. Even though Jesus saw this act as a prefiguration of his imminent death and burial, the disciples still did not. Those who were present saw this as obviously too much, and Judas Iscariot said the money for this ointment could have been used for the poor. The evangelist commented that this was not because Judas loved the poor, but because he was fond of pilfering the common purse that was in his custody. The evangelist called him a kleptes, the same description of the one who threatens the flock and comes only to kill, to steal, and to destroy. John chapter 10 verse 1, 8, and 10. This would ultimately point to the role of Judas in the betrayal of Jesus. Let us bear in mind that Jesus did not condemn the intention for the poor, nor does he condemn spending the best of our resources for the worship of God. Rather, we are to see in both action an expression of love for God. In this Holy Week, as we journey with Jesus into Jerusalem and up to Golgotha, we are called to be like Mary. Our everyday presence at Mass, listening to Jesus, and sharing in the breaking of bread must translate into an authentic devotion that gives all without counting the cost. We are also to shun superficial acts of charity. Learn to give. Do so freely, completely, and sincerely.